Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you're a marketer or a business owner right now, you are probably wrestling with a pretty massive conflict. On one hand, you've got this heavy, often really expensive burden of endless creative production. You just need more assets, constantly. But on the other hand, there's this deep-seated fear that if you automate the process, you're essentially handing over the keys and losing total control of your brand identity. So today, we're bringing you a highly practical executive summary straight from the Google Ads team to unpack exactly how you can scale your creative using AI, but, and this is the crucial part, without ever surrendering the steering wheel. Let's just call out the elephant in the room right away. The fear that generative AI will lead to a quote-unquote sea of sameness absolutely captures the immediate skepticism almost every marketer has. I mean, think about it. If everyone out there is using the exact same foundational models, how in the world do you stand out? Well, the insights we're unpacking today actually suggest that AI tools, when they're guided properly, do the exact opposite. They are literally designed to help your brand iterate rapidly, test out entirely different styles, and truly stand out at an unprecedented scale. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our executive action plan to resolve that sea of sameness fear. First, we'll be decoding ad strength. Second, maintaining your brand voice. Third, supercharging video with feeds. And fourth, tailoring, testing, and winning. All right, kicking things off with Section 1, decoding ad strength. So before we even touch the advanced AI features, we really have to redefine how we look at this foundational metric. A lot of marketers will see a lower ad strength on an asset that's actually converting, and they immediately assume the system is just completely broken. But here's the paradigm shift. Ad strength is a diagnostic tool. It is not a strict performance grade, and it's definitely not an ROI pass or fail indicator. All it does is simply check your propensity for discovery. Basically, do your images and videos actually cover the necessary aspect ratios for things like connected TVs, YouTube Shorts, and desktop feeds? You should really think of it as the price of entry. It's just there to ensure you are actually eligible to reach those diverse audiences in the first place. If we look under the hood for a second, the system uses a mathematical algorithm called cosine similarity. Now, don't let the math scare you. All this does is provide real-time feedback by measuring exactly how unique your headlines and descriptions actually are from one another. It's kind of like a recipe, right? You obviously don't want 10 variations of just salt. You need completely distinct ingredients. Ad strength simply uses this math to ensure you have enough unique, diverse combinations in the mix to actually appeal to incredibly niche user searches. Moving right along to Section 2, maintaining your brand voice. Okay, let's be super clear here. Scaling with AI absolutely does not mean handing over the keys to your brand identity. You are the one steering the AI, and you do that using text guidelines. For the business owners listening, this is exactly how you keep your brand safe in Performance Max campaigns. You can literally specify up to 40 campaign text guidelines. So let's say you sell premium outerwear. You can explicitly tell the system to never ever use the word cheap, or you can block specific phrasing about certain materials. The default safety rails are automatically applied, of course, but then Google actually filters every single generated asset against your specific rules before it ever sees the light of day. No off-brand surprises, period. And honestly, this brilliantly illustrates exactly why you should be embracing these tools rather than avoiding them. Check this out. Marketers who are utilizing AI Max campaigns with text customization and final URL expansion enabled are seeing, on average, a 7% increase in conversions at a similar cost per acquisition. So think about that. You apply those 40 text guidelines, you get that awesome 7% performance lift, and you still maintain total 100% brand fidelity. It's a huge win. Now, I want to drop a highly practical, absolutely crucial detail regarding compliance here, especially if you're in a sensitive vertical like healthcare or finance. The rollout of text disclaimers is a total game changer. If you specify a legal disclaimer, it will always serve as your first description line. Period. End of story. Even if you have final URL expansion or text customization turned on, your legal safety net is completely locked in. Just keep this one thing in mind, though. This strict legal text disclaimer will override any other pinned first descriptions you might have manually set. So just plan your copy around that. All right, that brings us to Section 3, supercharging video with feeds. Let's shift gears from text to visuals for a minute. If you are a retailer, your Google Merchant Center product feed is your absolute source of truth, right? Well, traditionally in demand gen, you're pretty much constrained to running just 5 video ads. But imagine you have 100,000 SKUs. By mapping specific targeted videos directly to individual products right inside your Merchant Center feed, you completely break that limit. So if the algorithm knows a particular user is highly likely to buy running shoes, it completely bypasses your generic brand video and serves them the specific marathon training video you map to that exact SKU. It is a massive, massive unlock for scaling up your top of funnel and mid-funnel shopping performance. But wait, what if you're sitting there thinking, I don't have a massive video production budget for all my SKUs? Well, enter the Veo integration in Google Ads. You don't have to miraculously become an in-house video production company overnight. You literally just select up to 3 static images and the AI generates 5 distinct, high-quality 10-second videos for you. For image-only advertisers who have basically been completely locked out of the power of YouTube, this kicks the door wide open. And the best part, it completely solves the production bottleneck by grounding the entire video output directly in your own established brand imagery. And look, the reason for this relentless push towards video generation is backed up by some serious hard data. Demand gen ads that actually utilize these video enhancements saw over a 16% increase in conversion value at their targeted ROI. That totally validates the push for varied aspect ratios. These tools are explicitly designed to take that heavy cost and the absolute burden of creative development completely off your plate while directly driving your bottom line. Which leads us perfectly into our final section, Section 4, Tailoring, Testing, and Winning. So we've got the assets and we have our brand safety rails firmly in place. Now, how do we actually prove this AI creative is working at the bottom of the funnel? First things first, you absolutely must match the message to the customer journey. A super common pitfall is treating videos solely as top-of-funnel brand awareness. But YouTube is now a highly effective performance driver for deep conversions, driving actual add-to-cart actions and final sales. So you have to tailor your creative messaging based on the audience. A broad discovery video for someone brand new to your company needs to have a fundamentally different tone than an asset targeted at an audience who is primed and ready to buy. You should always be asking yourself, what is the specific job to be done by this particular asset? Let's move to the actual testing, because the days of messy, inconclusive data are totally over. By using the new asset comparison experiment inside Performance Max, which, by the way, is also rolling out to Demand Gen, you now have a fully guided setup for precise A/B testing. But here is the absolute most important step in this practical approach. You have to isolate the creative as the only changing factor between version A and version B. If you do this, you can finally measure true quantitative performance differences, and you'll be able to prove exactly how much your creative investment is actually moving the needle. As we wrap up, I really want to leave you with this final provocative question. Are you using AI right now just to save time, or are you using it to actually drive performance? It's really easy to treat generative tools as just a quick shortcut to bypass the hard work of creative production. But as we've seen today, from setting up strict text guidelines to Merchant Center feed mapping, all the way down to rigorous A/B testing, the real power lies in achieving greater scale, deeper personalization, and measurable growth, all while keeping your brand identity completely intact. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I highly encourage you to take these executive takeaways and start applying them to your own campaigns today. Catch you next time.
Subscribe for more actionable executive summaries, and if you want deeper insights and exclusive content, support the channel on Patreon. You'll find the link in the description.